It's time for the Fat Loss for Humans Q&A. Apologies for the delay with this. It's been a couple of weeks, but I'm back now, so let's crack on. First one from Nat, who asks, I'm on a lower protein, higher fat diet. It's day one and I'm hungry. Please can you advise on what will fill me up, as I can't fill my face with protein. Right, this is one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of higher protein diets, because they tend to do better at keeping people full, satisfying hunger. So if you're on a lower protein diet, or maybe you just don't eat that much meat or whatever, you have to look elsewhere to try and fill yourself up. So I would look at, first and foremost, it would be food volume. So can you load that plate with salad, vegetables, these sorts of things, basically foods that there's a lot of them, but the calories are quite low. So yeah, a big plate full of veg. It looks like quite a lot, but really there's probably minimal calories there. The other things you can do hunger-wise are trying to stack calories at points of the day that you feel particularly hungry. So for a lot of people, this will be kind of later on in the evening. So maybe saving some calories for later on in the day, more with your evening meal, and then you can kind of go to bed feeling full and satisfied. But good question, because it's not easy to nail that. So have a little play with it and let me know how you get on. Question number 2, also from Nat, who's asking about whether it's worth buying things like squat shoes, belts, knee supports, these sorts of things. Now, I am not an expert on this, so from my own experience, I've recently started using a pair of squat shoes, and it makes a big difference. Like, I can feel it straight away, pretty much from the first workout. Now, you also ask in your question, or state in your question, that you're thinking about doing powerlifting. Now, these sorts of things definitely become more relevant if you're thinking of competing. So what I'm going to do, because I'm not the expert on this, I'm going to tag a few friends who know far more than me, and hopefully they can provide some answers in the Facebook comments. So keep your eye out for those. Question from Concept Fit UK, who ask any tips or any general tips for meal planning. So one thing I'll get clients to do quite often will be to get a diary of your week, and you basically put in, the first thing you kind of enter into it are the things that are non-negotiable. So this is typically going to be stuff like your working hours, if you've got a family, picking children up from school, these sorts of things you cannot change. Now once they're in, then you can start looking at the time you've got to train. So, do you prefer getting in early before work? Can you only do the weekends? You put that into the plan. Then you look at, right, now how the meal's going to look around that. So if you're training first thing in the morning, it's going to be a bit more relevant for you to look at breakfast and how you're going to structure that. If you're training in the evening, then complete reverse. You need to think about, fueling for that 6 o'clock session and recovering afterwards. So in terms of just general tips for meal planning, I would say look at your diary and your lifestyle first, and then make the meals fit that. Don't draw out a perfect meal plan, or what you think is a perfect meal plan, and then you look at your diary and it's not compatible. So yeah, make the diet fit your lifestyle. Don't try and change your lifestyle to fit the diet. Okay, last question from Josh, who basically asks, is it better to have like a clean foods post-training, or does it matter if you trained at 6, 7 in the evening and then went out and had like a Pizza Hut or a Chinese or whatever? Will that impact on your recovery? Now, in terms of actual recovery and repair, you don't necessarily have to have that. There's kind of this thinking that you have to have fast-acting carbs and fast-acting protein, like whey protein, for example, after a workout. Now, this only really becomes relevant if you've got your next session kind of within the same day. So let's say you were training first thing in the morning, you went and did sprints before work, and you were coming back in to do weights later on in the evening. Then it would kind of make sense to have simpler carb sources, faster acting sources to kind of replenish muscle glycogen ready for the next session. But to be honest, if you went to the gym on a Friday night, you trained 5:30 till 6:30, and you went out for a meal at 7, 7:30, I wouldn't bother having the shake or the dextrose or whatever you're having post-workout. I'd just go and have the meal, except the fact that it might not be the best choice of food, but will it hamper recovery? Like if you're going out and having a pizza, well, let's face it, a pizza, the base is carbohydrate, cheese is going to be protein and fat. Let's say you have some meat on there as well, a bit more protein. You've kind of got it covered. So I don't believe personally it's going to make a massive impact on recovery from training. Where it might have an impact is if you're absolutely smashing down the buffet and you take on 2,000 calories. Well, in terms of a weight loss goal or a fat loss goal, yeah, that's going to have an impact. But in terms of actually refueling, are you doing yourself a disservice by going and having a Chinese? Not really, as long as the portions are kind of in check. And you can always, let's face it, you can always have a light breakfast, light lunch and kind of save calories for that meal in the evening anyway. So in summary, enjoy Chinese, enjoy pizza after your training session. It won't hamper your gains. I hope those answers were helpful, and yeah, I'll be asking for more questions this week, so stay tuned to the Facebook page, Instagram, any questions at all, fire away and I'll do my best to help. Enjoy the rest of your day, catch up soon, bye.